Who wants to tell her that bringing down other students in order to make yourself look good to get into college is not that big of a deal? Society, released in 2022, and is directed by Oran Zegman, who's also directed such short films like Marriage Material, For Only $9.99, and Rebel. And this film is starring Angourie Rice, Gaten Matarazzo, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse. And the reason why we're talking about Honor Society today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a longtime contributor and supporter of this channel, Dr. Camp. Once again, send over in your bundle of film that I've never heard of before, definitely have never seen before, and I was just happy to see on the poster that, ooh, little Dusty Buns from Stranger Things was going to be in this. I love that actor. He's so adorable. And I was kind of on to him from the start. I was like her mother who knew that something's off here. And I love how this film tried to make you, I guess this is spoiler, so if you don't want to continue with this review, you haven't seen this movie, then stop watching it. Watch it, come back to watch this review, you've been warned. But I guess they tried to make us feel like he was a piece of shit, which, I mean, yeah, I guess he had a determined mindset to get into Harvard, but I don't think what he did in this movie was reprehensible or disgusting at all. In fact, I think Honor is the disgusting character in this movie. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. Thank you very much, Dr. Camp, for the recommendation. If anyone else out there also wants to be like Dr. Camp and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, give you a little shout out, just like what I did with Dr. Camp here. Honor Rose is a senior in high school and has dedicated her entire academic life in trying to get accepted into Harvard University. And after she's told by her guidance counselor that he is choosing between 4 of the top students of the high school to get his recommendation to Harvard, sets out on a mission to deter all of these students from their studies so that their grade point and community service and all the things they have to do slide and suffer. That way she seems like the obvious choice to get the Harvard recommendation. But along the way, she develops and realizes friendships with others and learns that, hey, getting into Harvard, getting accepted into a particular university is not as big of a deal as people, guidance counselors, parents, teachers make it out to be. Which is a message that I wish I would have known in high school. Like, parents, all the adults were talking about, go to college, you need to get a degree, you absolutely have to get a degree. You do it. Why? Just because. You needed to get a job. Then here I am with a master's degree. I went to 2 different colleges, actually, and a buttload of student loan debt that I'm going to be paying off for the rest of my life. So, yeah, I mean, what's the point of going to college, really? Which is why during this entire movie, I just want to crawl through the screen and just shake her and go, don't put all of your energy into doing what you're doing. It's not that big of a deal. Live your life. Develop relationships. You only get one life and it's extremely short. Ah. Plus, also, if your immediate reaction to hearing that there are other students in your high school who are also awesome with their grades and also want that recommendation to Harvard, your first reaction is you want to tear them down and to bring them down and to make sure that they stay in this city. That way I get the thing that I want. I'm sorry, that makes you a piece of shit. And yes, that's something that this character learns by the end of this movie, but I struggle with this film. It's a coming-of-age movie, so you know that there's going to be huge life lessons that these characters are going to learn. I get that. And she does, and in the end, she's kind of a better person for going through all of this, but just to have that immediate reaction to hearing that other people are doing as well, if not better than you, that you just want to tear them down, like, that's some bullshit. Fuck you, basically. I don't want to be your friend. And then the way she goes about doing it, there's a point in this movie where she is contemplating roofing Michael, the guy who's played by Dusty from Stranger Things. She's contemplating roofing him so that he doesn't do well on the test the next day. Like, I'm sorry, roofing someone is not acceptable regardless of the reason, regardless of your gender, who you are. You shouldn't be doing that to anyone other than your creepy guidance counselor who, yeah, just needed to fall asleep and stop hitting on you because he's a fucking creep. But if you're contemplating on roofing someone so that they don't do well on a test the next day, I'm sorry, that makes you a piece of shit. Again, this is why I'm struggling with this movie, because I really enjoyed it. I really did on the whole, on the surface. But there are things that happen in this movie that I'm like, that either that's not aging well or that's just not acceptable. Like, you could be arrested for that, and you probably should be arrested for that. In fact, if the roles were reversed and this was a male student contemplating roofing a female student so that she doesn't do well on a test, I would guarantee everyone who watched this movie would be like, absolutely not. But because the roles are reversed, maybe it's more acceptable, I don't know. And maybe that's an ignorant thing for me to say, so I apologize for that. But I feel like there is some blindness when it comes to this situation, because they just breeze over it in this film, like, we realize what almost happened here, right? That's not cool. And then the fact that she's trying to derail this quieted, introverted person who keeps to herself, who does all the things that she wants to do, trying to get her to break out and do extroverted things when she's not wanting to. Like, I guess, like, it works out in the end, but again, that could have gone completely terribly for her, and she could have lost her 4-point and could have lost scholarships. Maybe she wouldn't have gone to Harvard, but then if her GPA is not high enough, maybe she wouldn't have even got a scholarship to a community college or a 4-letter university, you know, the ones that are not as popular as the Ivy League. She's also trying to exploit one of the other students who is a closeted homosexual and is afraid of coming out, telling his father that he is gay, who's the head coach of one of the teams of the school. She plans on exploiting that. Like, that's awful. That's terrible. And again, I'm just, I know she becomes a good person in the end. She's so determined in the beginning to get out of this city because it's a small town. Her parents are her parents, I guess. That's the issue, which I guess every teenager feels that way, so I can get behind that. But she's just an angry person. She's just an angry character. And I'm not talking about the actor who plays her. I think Angry does a great job in this role. She has that personality. She has that presence about her that makes her seem like someone that has her shit together in high school and tries to be a proper stand-up student. I mean, just watch any of the Spider-Man home films, and there she is, basically doing the same character. But in terms of the character herself, I'm not a fan of her. She's quite awful, which it is warping my view of this film, which sucks because I do think on the whole this film is very enjoyable and it's a good coming-of-age film, especially in a modern-day sense with how students need to go through high school now. There are cool sequences in the theater group, and especially when we get to that production and it turns out to be a musical of all things, like, whoa! Where did that song come from in these performances? Well, that was frickin' cool, being a theater kid myself, of course. But in the end, I just think the quality of person this character is, even though she turns it around in the end, just the process and the journey that she takes, she really bothered me. Maybe I'm the only one who feels like that. Maybe people have watched this film and absolutely love it and love this character and love what she does. If you are, please comment below. I'm definitely interested to see your side of the argument, your side of the pancake, because I'm just stuck with this negative view on her and how she tries to make Michael seem like he's the piece of shit in the end when really he didn't do anything wrong. He knew that he was being followed by her friends and then her, so he takes a scenic route and goes to the maid's house with all of her kids. He's keeping the fact that he is in the top 1% private. He knows that he's about to be roofied, so he had the plan that if she did try to roofie him that he would spill the drink, and really he never set out to bring the other 3 academic students down at all. He was just doing his own thing. I don't know, it's just this movie in terms of character, it's ass backwards, and unfortunately I think that's affecting my overall score of this movie. I'm gonna give Honor Society 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
So guys, have you seen Honor Society? What did you think about it? Am I wrong with my views of this character and what she does? If there are supporters of her out there, please definitely comment below and let me know what you thought about her and this movie. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.